stage 6 load shedding is back in a heat wave on this Black Friday. We're joined by Professor Samson Mamphweli from the South African National Energy Development Institute. He's the head. Thank you for being with us, Prof. The Electricity Minister is speaking this afternoon. Of course, the nation wanting an explanation for a sudden implementation of stage 6 at 12 o'clock. What did you make of what he had to say?
Yeah, good evening to you and the viewers. So it's a difficult one because the biggest challenge has always been the fact that Eskom has got huge breakdowns that they've been struggling to basically contain. I've looked at the system as well for quite a long time. I've been tracking for more than 3 weeks now. And I've noticed that the breakdowns are sitting at about 15,000 megawatts, which is quite high, and they've been unable to lower them. And then over and above that, they've got the maintenance program. They've taken down close to 6,000 megawatts. So the biggest issue for me, I mean, we can say all sorts of things, but the breakdowns are the biggest problems. And we're seeing this problem even in new power stations such as your Bidupi and all that, which are not supposed to be giving us this kind of problems. So the whole thing is this power system is old. It has not been properly maintained. The coal fleet. We need money to be able to maintain the old coal fleet properly. In my view, they should do what they've done with Unit 2 at the nuclear power station. Take these units down, renew them, and then return them back to service when they are reliable. Basically, what needs to be done is reliability maintenance. The biggest reason why we are on stage 6 load shedding is because Eskom is also ran out of generation reserves, like what the minister has said as well, and they need to replenish those generation reserves. I've done my calculations. If you look at everything that they need, they are running short of close to 2,000 megawatts, and if you include the fact that they need to get they need to replenish the generation reserves, the diesel and the pump storage facilities. Then the shortage goes above that. It goes to up to 5,000 megawatts, which is why they had to implement stage 6 load shedding.
So firstly, you're painting a bleak picture, and it means we know we're in stage 6 for the weekend, but it means possibly we're going to see these high stages for a while. Is that correct?
We may not see the high stages for quite a long time, because once they replenish the reserves, they are able to lower the load shedding stages. They could go lower down to stage 4, and at a later stage, depending on the number of breakdowns that we have, they could go down to stage 3 load shedding. But we must recall that load shedding is implemented to protect the integrity of the grid. But what needs to happen to deal with load shedding, the energy availability factor of the coal fleet needs to be at about 70%. It should be sitting at 72 to 75%. As things stand, we are way below 60% low energy availability factor, which is a problem. When the Minister of Electricity came on board, the Eskom managed to push the EAF from just below 50% to about 60%, and now it's going back, which basically tells us that there is a need for reliability maintenance. One of the things that I did was to look back from 2018 up to date and to look at their maintenance regime, and I found that it was averaging at about 10%, which is not supposed to be. It was supposed to be about 15 to 20% maintenance, and that is one of the problems that has given rise to the challenges that we have at the moment.
Thank you. I was going to ask you about maintenance, but we're running out of time. Very quickly, there's something else that's concerning here. Do the people who should be in the know what's going on. And some are pointing to promises made previously by the Electricity Minister, Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, and by the ANC's Fikile Mbalula. He said load shedding should be a thing of the past. What's happening now shouldn't be happening now. Does that make us question who actually knows what's going on?
Yeah, so day before yesterday, SANEDI had a conference basically to communicate what government is doing through SANEDI in terms of the research and all that. And one of the people that we invited was the advisor to the Minister of Electricity. And he pointed to something that you have asked, to say there are people out there who are giving politicians the wrong information. So the question is, who is giving the politicians the wrong information? Because politicians rely on people at Eskom, they rely on experts who tell them that this is the situation, and we see the situation being better going forward, or things like that. I remember at some point I had data that was showing me that load shedding will not end at least until December. It will, if the situation remains, we will go into towards the end of 2024 with load shedding. And the minister was talking about load shedding ending around December. And I was wondering who is giving this information. So it remains, a question to say, where are they getting this particular information? Because the information should come from the planning and the data that we have, that then advise them in terms of what is happening and what is going to happen, and when can this load shedding end.